When I first got into Resident Evil, I played Resident Evil. I think it was one when a friend came over, the remake of one. But like, I really, really got into four. Like, four was the game that really got me like in Resident Evil. Like, I played that game so much. And the thing about it that I really liked about it was it felt a lot like Dead Space. Of course, this was before Dead Space, but when Dead Space came out, it like I felt the connection because really RE4 was kind of like the catalyst to like how they did over the person or over the shoulder horror in games. Like you had RE4. I mean, that was like kind of like the originator of that camera angle, and you still see it even like an RE2 remake, an RE3 remake, and then they implemented a over-the-shoulder mode in an RE8 eventually, in their like deluxe edition. So like it's an iconic camera perspective that a lot of people like. A lot of people from my generation really like that camera angle. Of course, if you were like an OG fan, you like the isometric camera angle, where it's just like the top down. Isometric isn't really top down. Isometric is more like at a 65-degree angle over a head, roughly. So but I really like that too, but RE4 was the game I really got in Resident Evil. I got that game for Christmas on the PS2 in November because it dropped in November of the same year on PS2. That is that's when I got the game. I got it in November. And I still have my original PS2 copy 20 or plus years later. Of course, at the end of this year in November, then that copy will officially be 20 years old. So I'll have that. I'll probably post that on my Twitter on the community tab. 20 years with that game with RE4. Uh, but I'll probably actually maybe end up if I can get it working. That would be kind of fun to actually play the original copy, like a playthrough of the original copy, or just play the OG game on PC. Now, I've bought that game several times. I have it on PC. I have it on PS2, of course. I have it on the Wii. I have it on Xbox 360, Xbox One, I believe, and I have it on PS4. Of course, it transferred over to PS5. I bought the game like 4 or 5 times. The remake, I haven't done that. I played a lot of the remake. The remake, I've only bought like twice. I have it on PC, and I recently bought it for PS5. So RE4 is a great game. Now, I've said that. Why is it a great game? It's a great game to me because it really represented kind of like the best of like 80s action movies, which I grew up a lot watching 80s action movies. And because of that, it had Leon Kennedy's character to me felt so much like the last action hero because it had cheesy one-liners and it had, kind of hard to believe, but somewhat, crazy villains. And I love that about the game. It has a campiness that reminds me of a simpler time in media and a simpler time in my life. I was 15 when that game came out. So I was like, an impressionable young, teenager for the most part. It was the character of Leon made me think about if I'm going to be a really, really cool adult, a really confident adult, I want to be like Leon Kennedy. I want to be this super confident, one-liner guy who's just like doing cool stuff. And, that's the kind of character that I would want to be, or kind of person I want to be you know. So when you're 15, you see that character that relates to all this old 80s action movie stuff. There's a kind of like a bond or correlation with it. So Leon's character, even to this day, when I play the games, I'm like, man, I got to go to the gym, get my arms, you think about all those things, but he really was a very cool character. I think he, to me, probably represented a lot of positive masculinity aspects too. If people want to nowadays, we examine masculinity and more macho or male confident characters, and I think that to me now, if you want to start looking at it through that prism, that to me now is very important. Like I really, really, really like how his character was depicted, his character was broken down, and his character was presented because it was very much the healthier aspects of masculinity. It was a very healthy way of viewing masculinity in a way that you're confident, you know what you're about, you protect people, and that's a very controversial thing now to say that you're a man, you're confident, and you protect people. and you have a good sense of humor about things, and you keep it cool. I mean, that to me was just like almost like one of my another, besides all the other positive male role models I had in my life. That was just another one. Of course, in a fictional sense, but that was those were ideas to aspire to be. So his character to me, even to this day, is kind of like at least the old school version of Leon Kennedy. Definitely a role model in a fictional character concept. So I really, really liked that aspect of his character and the aspect of how the vibe of the game and the aspect of all these different things. So, when I went into Dead Space, it was like, oh, this feels like Resident Evil because they kind of with the originator of the camera, like I said earlier. So I'm happy to know that I am at an age now where I can appreciate the game differently. I can process the game differently as an adult, but I can still see these are still ideas I'm still aspiring to now as an adult, in a way. So I think that's super cool. And I also think that I hope that we're still talking positively about Resident Evil 4, the OG version, 20 more years when it's 40 years old. But yeah, I do have my original PS2 copy of Resident Evil 4 that came out in November. I think it was November 20th of 2005. So that's when I got the game around Christmas. So I don't think I had a GameCube at the time. I think I did actually, but I wanted it on PS2. Oh yeah, because it had a Shaman Ada, I believe, and some other bonus. I think Shaman Ada and I think Separate Ways was on the PS2 version only. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I know Shaman Ada was. I don't know if Separate Ways was only on PS2 version, but it had some bonus stuff. That's why I waited to get it on the other system. Yeah, that's probably why I did that. That's probably why I did that. And now I remember that was 20 years ago. So I have complete latitude to not fully remember exactly what I said 20 plus years ago. So you're gonna have to forgive me on that completely. I hope so. But that's pretty much the main things. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, what Resident Evil 4 means to me as its 20th anniversary.